Hi, guys. Welcome back to Subto Shauna. This is the way, episode number 35, right? Pretty sure.
35.
Wow. Like getting up there. Okay. So today I have Alon Orbach on the show. Alon has a couple things going on there. You have a company called DesignedVR, which is a vacation rentals investments. And you also have like Orbach Realty, correct?
So let me kind of first of all, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on the
I'm happy
show.
to be here again, in a way.
Yeah.
So we basically the Design VR, it's split into two. The Design VR is a brokerage, so it's Design VR regular brokerage for real
Uh-huh.
estate. And we also have the vacation rental investment segment. So it's specific investments for vacation rental. That's most of the business.
Okay. Okay. So the vacation rental is the crux of the
That's the
business.
bread and butter.
Gotcha. The bread and butter.
That's a
Okay.
special. Yes.
So is that you tell us a little bit about the designed vacation rentals. You get the properties and flip them, or you manage them, or tell us all about designed VR.
Awesome. Yeah. So we are basically, let me kind of actually go a step back. I'll tell you how we got to this point, and then we'll go to basically where we are today and what we do exactly, because do feel it's
Yeah.
important. When we started, I used to do a lot of property management. I did over 300 units for long-term investors, and the market in Florida, all over United States, but in Florida, it became really hard to find good investments for long-term investments. So there was like, what is the next step? Like, okay, there are investors, they want to buy properties. What can we get them? And we actually had one house that it was belonged to a soccer player, pretty known, and he wanted to sell his house. And we said, okay, in the meantime, let's put it on this new platform, Airbnb. It wasn't that, I mean, it was known, but it wasn't like a business.
So how
And
long ago was this?
7 years ago.
Okay.
And the house ended up doing really good. Like, it did amazing. And then we were like, "Wow, there's something here. Like, that, like, it's better than long term, and we need to look further into it." So we started, and basically that's how like the company started. Kind of like there's more to it, of course, but we saw the potential,
Mhm.
and the way that we're working is that we are right now locating properties all over Florida. We have about $150 million in portfolio.
Oh, wow.
And it's also important to mention it because the size of the portfolio gives us a lot of knowledge. And knowledge is power because we know in each location what a property is actually doing. Um, and so again, go back, we're locating the property, let's say, finding in it, it doesn't matter if it's a wholesale on MLS, and then we're going there, we look more in depth. I usually take the videos of the property to really see what we have there. Then we're going back to the draft board. We're looking at what the property really needs, like how much in renovation, are we adding more rooms, the
Mhm.
permitting. We're checking basically the cost. The cost is kind of rough, but we already know pretty good numbers. So we're doing an analysis, we're at the same time submitting the offer. Our analysis are really like to the toothpick. Like we put every small number in the analysis to know exactly what the expenses will be. We're as accurate as it can get. I mean, of course, things can change, but at a given time, we're very accurate with the numbers. We're starting the negotiation process. Then during the due diligence period, we're sending our team there that is like the GC, the project manager. We're also sending a photographer to do a 3D tour. The 3D tour, the designers are using later because it gives you like the 3D of the rooms, the calculations of the sizes. So then
Mhm.
we can order furniture based on that. We do have designers in house as well. And then when basically we're purchasing the property, the renovation start, then we're doing all the assembly of the furniture and the TV and whatever is needed. And nowadays and we can get a little more in depth to it as well. We're building more like amenities to properties. We're doing kind of like a all inclusive kind of like resort style for
Ooh.
families. Very unique product.
Mhm.
And and then we do the management, and the management is also like the to have cleaners, to have the
Mhm.
designated property manager in each location. We have security 24/7. We have people that are answering the phones 24/7. We're really like hands on everything, which is the
Mhm.
only way to really succeed in Airbnb today. Airbnb, when it started, it was kind of like, okay, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. Let me rent my house for 2 weeks and make some money out of it. But it became a business, and
Mhm.
I can tell you that I'm selling properties that we've been doing the Airbnb, and a big part of it is the appreciation. So obviously, we're selling it in a nice upside, and I get a lot of people coming to our properties thinking about buying them for vacation rental. And I'm like, who is like teaching you? Who is representing you? Because those houses will not work now. If we're selling them in an upside, they're not going to work for a new buyer for Airbnb, because obviously we already, like, when you put in all the cost and everything of the new prices, the houses that we're selling, they're not going to be great returns. Meaning, if the same person that is looking in my property will come to me, I will give him something else, something better. It's more for like an end user at the end, when we're selling it, and we're buying in prime location. So it's great for end user. It's not necessarily an investment area.
Gotcha. So you these vacation rentals that you do, they're not just like your typical Airbnbs. Is that correct? They're more kind of like luxury
A hundred
Airbnbs. Do I have
percent.
that right? Okay.
Yes. Actually, we're gonna share a few of the pictures from an example of a property that we have. We have quite a few of those. Uh,
Okay.
this is actually a really nice property that when we bought it, the property was pretty much nice on the inside already, meaning it was renovated. We did add some stuff. However, on the outside, there was only grass. There was the pool, but other than that, everything was grass. So the way that we're looking into properties, this is not in a touristic area, let's call it. It's more like a suburban. And for
Suburb.
us, we saw that the market was transitioning to a point that, like, vacations, like, a lot of people kind of said, oh, you know what, that's an amazing investment, Airbnb, let's buy houses. And then all of a sudden, so many houses in the same area doing Airbnb, a lot of competition. Back then the rates were still low, and so we were like, okay, what is the next step? Like, how can we kind of like, before numbers go down on the touristic area, how can we keep making money, basically? So we got into the more like the high end luxury um, sector in
I
a different area, because you cannot find in a touristic area an acre lot, right? Those lots are becoming more scarce uh, when you're getting close to the beach and stuff like that. The lots are much smaller.
right.
So we said, you know what? Let's do an experience. Let's do something that when a family or group of friends or a bachelorette party, they're coming to a house and they don't need to leave the house. Now, obviously, when someone is coming to Florida, they're going to see places 100%. but in a way they're gonna enjoy the house so much that they're gonna be 100% uh, good there. And then every time they need to leave for whatever they decide to do, they're gonna do it. But they're gonna come back to something that they're like really enjoying. It's an experience. Usually we have like movie theaters that we're adding. Here you can see we added the soccer. Let me show you a few more
Yeah,
photos.
I think you can cycle through them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I
So
see a soccer field, a tennis court,
right.
a
So you
swimming
see here,
pool,
there's no
fire
tennis
pit.
on this one, but there is the soccer here. This is like a barbecue area right here. This is right here, mini golf, and this is for kids to play.
Playground.
Pool area. This is basketball right here. Full court volleyball, and it's really
Wow.
like a super super nice property. And
Oh, a
this
game
is the
room?
garage. That's another thing. So we're converting garages to do like a playroom. So usually we add, again, it depends, each house is different, but like air hockey and football and some more games. You can see here we did synthetic grass, we painted the court. A complete privacy, that's another thing super important for us. We have high-end clientele, so we give them complete privacy. So to put all the trees
So
around.
basically, it's like you have your own resort, right? And a
Right,
couple
it's like a resort
families can
style.
come in.
Yeah, 100%. And people are paying. I mean, a house like that will average about 12, 1,300 a night throughout the year. And it's like around 70% occupancy.
That's actually not bad. 12,
Right.
1,300 a
You have
night
like
for a
about seven,
resort, for
eight
your own
bedrooms,
resort. You
seven,
pay
eight bedrooms.
yeah, I mean,
you
that's
know,
just like 2 nights at a Hilton or 2 or 3 nights at a Hilton, right?
100%. And everything you can see, like we give all the experience, like
Oh,
the towels and the way that the decoration. It feels like a hotel, but it feels like a
feels
high-end
like a
hotel.
five-star
You're right.
resort. Wow. Do you
Sorry.
rent these out to do you have like what's your average, bed and bath for one of these little resort vacation
So that's
spots?
why I say it's about 1,200 to 1,300 a night.
No, I mean, how many beds, how many
Oh,
bedrooms,
okay.
and how many baths?
So this is actually a good point, and what? Let me show you in the meantime
That one is gorgeous.
another property that we have. So this is also another property.
Wow, I see 4 garages.
Right. So here, actually, the garage, we converted it to an amazing, all this is like a full movie theater, full basketball court. This is also a part of the house. So we have the soccer here on the right side. The inside, absolutely amazing. You're actually walking into the pool side. So that's the main, where you see, I don't know if you see my mouse, but to the middle of the screen, that's like the main entry. And then you walk into the pool area, and that's like the movie theater. And it's an amazing experience,
What's
like
that, 10 people seats, 10 seats in there? The
no,
movie
no,
theater?
you can definitely have more than 10. So this property is like 9 bedrooms, if you can
Oh,
see
wow.
here. Yeah, and we're also advertising it. I mean, you can see it here. This is actually advertised also for months to months basis. Those are the numbers that we're doing. Sometimes we're doing more through the Airbnb, but if high-end clientele wants it for a months to months basis, it is better for them, and it's less headache for us, to deal with the day to day. So we also do those in some of the houses, not all the houses, but some of them we offer it as well. Um, so this one is 9 bedrooms. This is actually a very interesting topic, right? And if you like, we can also get out of this screen
Okay,
because
sure, sure. Okay.
awesome. So when you're looking into the 4 or 5,000 square foot homes, you to justify the price. I mean, you're looking at a price point of around like the $2 million. You have to have enough bedroom to accommodate the size. So usually the bare minimum will be like 6,
Mhm.
but usually it's going to be like 7 to 8, and that's bedroom. So each bedroom, it's between 2 to 4 people, depends, on the size. So it can be like around 16 to 20 people in a house.
Mhm.
And this is also something that we're looking at. We don't want to just add rooms, because sometimes you have the space, you have like 5,000 square foot. You're like, okay, like, we can add 9 bedrooms. Why not make more
But it
money?
doesn't have that luxury feel if you make the rooms too
Right.
small.
So you don't have the luxury feel. And with what you just said, when you're reselling the house,
Mhm.
people don't need 9 bedrooms. I never
Right.
met one family that said, oh, we need 9 bedrooms. I never had,
Right.
you know I had some people wanted 7, but not like 9. Even
Yeah.
7, it's so unique that in a way it's not really worth targeting that crowd, right? Like, I think like 5, 6. That's kind of like, because nowadays people buy luxury homes. They, at least one room, they make like a nice office, and sometimes two, sometimes play
Guest
rooms for
rooms.
their kids or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's something that we actually learned. We didn't think about it at the very beginning. The very beginning, we just said, oh, we can add a room here, we can add a room there. But then when we reselling it, for example, we don't
Yeah.
really need in our business a lot of closet space, right? But if you're buying a house like we just showed, you as the buyer, for your master bedroom, you're gonna want a really nice master closet. So if we're
Mhm.
using that space for a bedroom, for you don't care. You don't need that bedroom, and you're like, well, I need my closet,
Right. Yeah.
So we adjusted already. Like nowadays, we don't just add rooms, but we're still like, for those size, usually 7 is like for sure.
So
And
you do resell them then? You do sell
But
them
but
also?
a part of us being an investment company, our
Mhm.
model is to buy the house for like 3 to 5 years. It really depends. We give it all the added value with the renovation, the outside amenities, and we also keep it very well maintained, because we have cleaners on a like twice a week basis, and property manager pass by like twice a week to make sure everything is good, and if something needs like a touch up, or we do stuff right away, so we don't wait. So the house at the end is pretty much ready for moving. And we're not so part of our model is basically to do the resale when the market appreciating, and we already have a few homes that we did very nice profit
So
on
you
them
can
on top of the
1031
return.
them?
Sorry.
Like, you can 1031 with the homes when you sell them, like, take the money
So
and
we are working with investors. So when you're looking at 1031, it's a little bit more complicated, because it's sometimes different investors in the same house, and then one wants to buy the other house, one doesn't, and it's a little bit more tricky. But it's an option. It's hard because the houses are so unique, and if we're selling a house for like 2.3, for us to buy another house for 2.3 will not make sense, if you understand what I mean, because it's going to be too
oh,
high. Like, we need to
got
buy them at the 1.6 or 7, and then we're adding all the furniture and the renovation and stuff. We end up being around the 2 million, but not like 2.3, and then on top of it to add furnitures and stuff like that, and then you're like becoming like 2.5, and then you want to resell it, you're like at like 2.9 million, and then what you gonna buy? Like, it just, when the numbers become over 2 million, the returns are becoming low and low.
gotcha, gotcha. How do you advertise something like that? Like, where would you go to find one of these rentals to rent out?
So We've been in this business for quite some time, so we do have repeating clients. We do have some celebrities that they reach out to us, that they usually rent like months to months, and they like those type of homes. It's easy, it's ready to move, and all those stuff. We also have our own website for booking, and we use all the regular channels, like Airbnb
Super
booking. We
good.
also have some relationship with some hotels, so you have like some hotels have their own websites. So we're like maybe on like 7 different channels, and that's pretty much, we don't really do outside advertisement. Even for investors, we never advertised. Everything is word to mouth so far, and it's been working very well. We probably at the end will start advertising, you know when we're gonna want to bring more homes. You know we tested the water for quite some time. I mean, this is obviously a very established company by now, but we do want to expand. I mean, we are looking now at different states, also different countries, and it will take time, to just to give you an idea. Like, let's say we're looking now into Texas, right?
Mhm.
Texas is huge. So you can have a few good locations in Texas, that each location by itself we need to be um, full and analyzed. And on top of it, what we came across so many times is that you can find a prime location in a new state, and you can find a property. But for us to open a new division in that state, we need to make sure we can buy at least 10 homes in order to create a new operation, right? Because you will need to bring staff uh, to be like to live there.
Right.
And that's sometimes difficult, because you can find a nice location. You're like, okay, I just see like one house right now. Sorry.
That's okay.
You only see like one house, and then you're like, okay, we'll buy that. Then what? We're gonna wait 6 months, maybe buy another one. I'm not saying like that's the only thing, but that's like also a part of it. It just to get into a new market, it takes a very long time.
Gotcha. Um, so what are your biggest struggles since you
Right.
started this business, and then how did you overcome them, or is it still a work in progress?
So it's always a. I'll start with the end. It's always a work in progress. There are constant struggles. What does it mean? The cities have regulation for Airbnb, which we're fully licensed. So sometimes you can have a property, and a year after you need to renew. You're going to have new regulations with the city. You're going to need to adjust to them. You're going to need to modify a few things in order to comply. You need to have great relationship with the cities. So
And the HOAs,
not
you ever
everybody
come
likes
across that?
you know because you bring a house, you bring a business to a residential area. Neighbors
Right.
not necessarily will like it. We don't allow parties. So for example, a struggle, some people, even though we don't allow parties, some people try to throw a party in our homes, and we do have 24/7 security. So we are sending someone to the property to tell them to go home. We can cancel accounts. It happens to us, but it's something that always happen. Like, there's always something,
Right.
people move out. I'm telling you, like, from the small struggles, a person moves out and a desk is broken, and then you have that's like a checkout at 11 a.m., and then 4 p.m. you have a new check-in, and then you need to fix the table by the time that the new person or new family or friends are moving in at 4. They don't care that the person before broke it. They want everything 100%. So you need to figure it out. Okay, am I fixing it and I'm buying it? Where am I buying it? Who is going to ship it in like 2 hours? So you need to have a lot of like good relationship with like suppliers and handymans and people that can come like within 30 minutes to fix something. And that's like struggles that all the time. Not that just like for the kind of like the ins and out of the management side. But when you're looking to, to buy a property, the market keep shifting. I'm sure you know it. I mean,
Yes,
everybody
yes,
knows.
yes.
And I gave an example before. So when we started, we bought, for example, in Florida, we bought a lot of homes in East Hollywood, and then a lot of people start buying. The numbers went down, and also the market went up, so the prices for the homes, are higher now. The return regardless is lower because the ADR, the average daily rate, is lower in East Hollywood now compared to what it was like a couple years ago. So you're like, okay, what am I buying right now? We have money that we have to spend. Like, if we're not going to buy homes, so we're not in the right field. And the struggle is very fast to, okay, where am I allocating the money? We're not like gambling, we're not just saying, okay, we have like 2 million, let's just spend it wherever. We need to
Mhm.
find a new market. We need to find it fast. We need to make sure that we're buying under market value. So all those are a lot of struggles that we are facing. And today, the negotiations that we have are like, sometimes it takes us like 2 3 months to negotiate for one property just to get into a contract. Before, when you do
Right.
that, it's like 2 days.
I can imagine. Everything goes so much slower when you're talking about those huge ticket luxury items and homes. Yeah,
Yeah. and
definitely.
and those are struggles, plus the return is lower. So the return is still great. I mean, it's a
Mhm,
great return. We're looking at 9-10% return for an end user after everything, and we do everything for them. I mean, they really don't need to do anything. But before, when the Airbnb more like started, people were making 16%, 17% sometimes.
mhm.
So, the people who bought in the past, now they're like, oh, I don't want to buy for 10%, even though 10% is amazing. But then again, they don't have an option because if they want to invest in real estate, I still think it's the best, return. You're not going to make anything in the long term. We can talk lengthily about um, multifamily, but that's a different animal. It's not so easy. I mean, nowadays people are selling multifamily with like 5-6% return, and with the high interest, even though today it went down 0.5%, which is amazing. Um, it's still like, it doesn't make sense to buy a multifamily. Now, yeah, you can add value. I mean, you buy something that needs rehab and you increase the rents, but that's not how it's supposed to work. Like, you're supposed to already buy it in a way that it makes sense, not to say, okay, I'll spend so much extra money and probably will make money out of it. So I
Mhm.
think this sector right now, the short term, is still like an amazing opportunity. And again, plus we're looking at other locations and how to grow and where to go next.
So, what's next for you to level up in your business? Like, what's the next step in the evolution of designed VR?
Okay, so I'm not gonna talk like so much in depth about it right
Mhm.
now, but basically, Design VR at the beginning was a vacation rental, let's say, management, and Design VR was a software. So we have our own software for vacation rental. That software, that's not my software. Like, my partner in the brokerage, it's his software. This software, it's an amazing software.
Mhm.
It's called Boom. So Boom
Oh.
is actually now being used worldwide for management software for vacation rentals. We have like
Oh.
thousands of accounts using this software. It's an amazing product. Again, it's a whole conversation. It's going to take like 40 minutes just to talk about the software.
Right.
But basically, the software is giving the end user, in a click of a button, to see what his property is doing, and everything is transparent. They can see, like, if you had an expense, that a chair was broken, So he's going to see before, after pictures. He's going to see the receipt. He's going to see how long the person was there to fix it. So everything is transparent. And then at the end of the year, you click a button, everything goes to an Excel, and you give it to your CPA. You're ready for taxes. It's an amazing product, but using that software for us from the investment side, to me, we're gonna use that information, not now, but you're saying like what's next. So that's like the next step. We're gonna have information in all over the world. Like we have people using this software like Italy, Portugal, Africa, different states in in United States, and more countries, Greece. And basically in each location we know what the investment is doing, because just like I know in Florida, in a click of a button, I also know what they're doing, even though we're managing it for them. Like it's not our properties, but we know what the return is. So I know now, think about like that. Like you look at the globe and you're like, I can choose each location and know, okay, here I'm making 8%, here I'm making 12%, here I'm making 15%. And then you're like, oh, 15%, what's going on there? And then you see how many properties, you see how many locations, you see it's an amazing like knowledge that you have that you can utilize for investment. We're looking now in like Guatemala, we're looking in Zanzibar, we're looking at right now. That's like right now we start looking. I need to fly to Guatemala. I have already some people that I'm supposed to meet there. Zanzibar, we're right now going to buy a hotel there on the beach, like beachfront hotel. So we're really expanding outside. Again, it's still like in like small uh accurate measurements sorry, but
Uh-huh.
but it's gonna grow, and that's like the next stage when it's gonna have when we're gonna have a lot more knowledge, and when we will, the boom itself right now is focusing a lot of on growing. So it's very hard to combine everything. You kind of like need to sometimes chill and take like each step at a time. But that's like the next step, and that's like really gonna be amazing. We're gonna work with like larger funds, and we're gonna have a lot of inventory to offer, and that's, I think, is gonna be a game changer.
Nice. I love
Once
it.
we need to go to the billion.
Yes, yes. So,
And
if anybody that wants to get a hold of you, I think I've had this up here for a little while now, Instagram, and you have 2 Instagrams
Yeah,
actually.
so that the Orbach Realty, that's my personal IG. If people just want to feel free to chat with me, but
Mhm.
the Design VR Realty Invest, that's like the just the actual brokerage side, and then the Facebook.
And then your website too,
Right, the
right?
website right now you can. It's basically to see all our properties. People wants to do reservation, they can do it directly from this website. So there are definitely a lot of information there about who we are, more in depth.
And all these links are also in the show notes and description box below. So I have 2 questions I like to ask all my
Sure.
guests. One is, what does success look like to you? Like, what does it look like when you know that you've been successful?
Right. Um, I'll divide it to two, right? Because the first thing that people think about success is money, right? I do
Mhm.
feel that money is important. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact that money is important. You need
Right.
a lot of money to live, especially in Florida.
Mhm.
Um, I think success. So to have money, a part of it, like when you start making money, that in a way measures success, but that's not the whole success, right? Like the whole success, I think, is first of all to do what you love. And that's the most important thing. You have to do what you love. I love every morning I wake up, I love what I do. I love to look at properties. I love to think about what can work for us, to do the negotiations. There are headaches, like any other thing. So it's a part of the success. Um,
Yeah.
but I think when you love what you do and not to let go of it, like meaning it's very easy to try something. People try for like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They say, I'm not making it. To make it takes a long time sometimes. I mean, some people get lucky and they get something right away going and it works for them. But to enjoy the process, so I feel like when you take the whole process and then you're looking at yourself, like you're really like looking at yourself and you're like saying, wow, I did a good job. I did a lot of good things here. And to translate it to grow together, when you're able to help other people to get work, if they work for you or you work for them or you work together, and everybody grow together, everybody all of a sudden make more money, everybody is like more relaxed in their financial life. I think that's like success.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. And also, if you would have one piece of profound advice that would help people in real estate business or in their personal lives, what would that be?
Okay, so I'll start with the personal life actually, because for me, for example, a big part of what I do on a regular basis is to work out and I play volleyball. And to have the ability to take the time to make time to still go work out or go play volleyball or do things that make you peaceful, things that make you happy. I think on the
Mhm.
personal note, to mix it with work, that's super important if you're able to do both. Because I had times that I worked my ass out and I was so tired at night. I was mad from work. I wasn't happy. I couldn't do anything. I just wanted to relax. So to push yourself to keep doing everything and not let go of like passions that people have. I think that's like in the personal life. Now, when you're looking in real estate, I'm not gonna talk about general real estate because it's a lot of stuff. To again, it's a whole different conversation.
Right.
But in my sector, what we're focusing on, so um, when you get to do it, a lot of people feel like they watch some YouTube videos, they see the kind of like what people are talking about, because it's kind of
Mhm.
like Bitcoin. People start talking about, and then you're like, oh, what is it? I'll buy it. They don't know what they're buying, they just buy it.
Right.
And in some point they were making good money. So
Mhm.
um the thing is that I have friends, sometimes they come to me, they're like, hey, I'm thinking about renting a house and then sub it to um, Airbnb. You think it's good? I'm like, well, maybe, but if you're asking me and you don't know anything about Airbnb, don't do it, because
Right.
you're
It's
gonna lose a lot of money. First of all, I have properties that I'm putting for rent, that long term rentals, and I have those people calling me that they're like, oh, I can pay for a whole year, but can I still do Airbnb? And I'm like, I don't care if you're gonna do Airbnb. Be my guest, but I know you're gonna lose money because I know the numbers for Airbnb. So it will not make sense for you. Now, if he's still gonna say, "Oh, I know what I'm doing," so what's gonna end up is that they're gonna move, and 3 months after, when they're losing money, they're gonna want to break the lease, and it's a headache. So we don't do it. But I will really recommend to someone who wants to start with someone. I'm not talking about like necessarily
like
a
a
mentor, but I'm
partnership.
saying like if I want to rent a house and then make money out of it, let's say, so I will hire a company to do it, like management company, and
Mhm.
I will learn. I will see where do they advertise, what prices, like what are they doing when something is broken, like really kind of like work in that company for free in a way to learn the
Mhm.
ins and out. And then when you really know the numbers, you're like, you know what? Okay, I'm ready to rent now another house and do it by myself. But don't just start, because people can, usually people want to start with rentals. Usually they're not people who have like $500,000 in their bank account, and they have a little money that they want to make more. And it's amazing, but
Mhm.
it's a big risk. Like you can lose a lot of money very quickly, you know.
So you only manage the vacation rentals that you own. Is that correct? Or do you manage other vacation
No,
rentals?
we manage also for other people.
Oh, okay. Good to
Yes,
know.
we definitely do both. We also do a little bit, very little bit, long term rental management, but it's not really our thing. Like we prefer not to.
Gotcha.
I will prefer them, those people, to a great management company. I know.
Yes.
But yeah, it's definitely, look, it's challenging,
Mhm.
it's not easy. Like
It's work.
people,
Yeah.
it's work. It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
Also to buy furniture, if someone wants to rent a house, I mean, again, to do like the Subto, like to rent it and
Yeah.
then to re-rent it to guests, you need to furnish the whole house. To furnish a house,
Arbitrage. Yeah.
it's at least like 30,000, and then and that's garbage. Like after you finish a year, 2 years, you cannot resell it. It's like you're losing all that money. And then so
Right.
you need to really take it into consideration. It's going to take long time to really start making nice profits. And people ask me, they don't know the regulations with the city, they don't know exactly what's the requirements, they don't know what's going to happen if someone is falling and breaking his leg, or I don't know, whatever.
Insurance. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
No, no, I'm talking about, you have insurance, but I'm talking about the people who are like just saying, let me do it.
Oh,
I'm saying there is a lot to learn. There are so many different things. So that's my recommendation, like not to just start. It's not like a long-term investor. It's not. It's not like just buying a house, finding a renter and forget about it. And then, when there are issues, you talk to them. Way easier. Like way.
gotcha. Yeah, it's not a set it and forget it type thing, like a
It's
long-term
not.
rental. It's
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 not.
more work.
So much headache. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy I'm not the one doing the management. Let's put it that way.
Right, gotcha. That's why you have partners, and you do the things you're good at, and they do the things they're
Yeah,
good
I do
at.
my stuff. Yes, I
Yeah,
definitely, I don't want to do that.
gotcha. Well, I wanna thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on the
I'm so happy we
show.
made it this time, and
Yeah, we were having
work
technical difficulties last time, so we had to re-record. It's
yeah, work
probably
smoothly this time.
yes,
Awesome.
yes. So thank you so much, Alon. Thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you,
on the
thank you.
show.
And next time we can talk about other subjects in real estate.
Yeah, let me know when if you ever wanna do another episode down the road and talk all
Sure.
about your software that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
we
You
can
said you
do
said it
that.
would you probably have a whole episode just on that software
Yeah,
alone,
that's a
right?
lot to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hang back after the
Sure.
show, and thank you for stopping by,
Thank
guys. I'll
you.
see you
Thank you,
next
guys.
time. Bye.
Bye-bye.